So during recreational activities such as hiking or camping, there will be times where you will need to know how to tie knots. So there are multiple knots that you could use. However, what are the most ideal knots, especially when you go camping? Well, I will explain and show 5 useful knots to use when camping in the wilderness. 1. A square knot. So one of the most basic knots is a square knot, which is a type of end knot. This knot is useful for tying up bundles and packages. It can also be used for first aid, where it can also be used to tie a bandage around a wound to stop bleeding quickly. The square knot is also known as the reef knot. Um, from when sailors use it to reef sails or tie down part of the sail in high winds. So this is how you do it. You cross it like this and make sure one of the knot goes underneath. And then now make sure these two ends overlap one another, cross, and then all you have to do is just pull. So now we have a square knot. Now, another one of the most important knots to know for emergency situations when out in the wilderness is the bowline knot. Now, a bowline knot is used as a rescue knot in cases of mountain climbing, fires, or water accident. And this knot comes in forms of an open loop, and that is easy for someone to grab onto and be pulled out of a dangerous situation. Now, it can be used to fasten a mooring line in a ring or a post. It can also be used as a rescue knot in some cases, just like I mentioned before, especially during emergencies. Now, in order to do this, you first have to form a small loop, leaving enough rope for the end to come through. Now, as you go through the hole, you'll tie around and go back through the hole until you create something like this. And as you pull, you have created a bowline knot. Now, the third knot is the clove hitch. Now, the clove hitch is an important pioneering knot which can be used for starting and finishing lashings. So, lashings consist of sticks or poles held together with a twine, rope, or cord. So, and lashings are used in overnight camps to make the campsite sturdier and can be used for things such as a towel rack, a table, or a tower. So, the first thing you need to do is pass the end of the rope around the pole and then over and then down again until you have this figure. And now you want to make sure that the end rope here goes through, and then you just tighten it as you go. Now we have a clove hitch knot. So number 4, a taut line hitch. A taut line hitch is used on ropes that are pulled taut. So a common use of this knot is for rope that holds a tent in order to secure it to the ground. The taut line hitch can then be heightened or loosened by pushing it up or down on the part of the rope that is standing. Now, to do that, you'd have to put it in a loop around like this and then around again, but it goes underneath. See, underneath and then around through the. Alright. So now as you tighten it should be like this. Alright, now to readjust it, you just have to pull on these two at the end. Finally, 5. Two half hitches. So the two half hitches knot is used for tying ropes to a post, such as a tree or a ring. And this knot can be easily tightened or loosened based on the situation, which makes it ideal for making a clothesline or tying a tent onto a tree. This knot consists of wrapping the rope around a support and looping the rope around itself in half hitches 2 times. The first thing you need to do is pass the rope around the pole, and then between the ropes make a half hitch like this, and then around again through until you make a 2 hitch right here. I'm not sure if you can see it, somewhat like this. And all you can do is just tighten it, or you can loosen it. It's up to you. And now the two half hitches are used widely in many circumstances, such as to tie a rope to a post or a ring, just as mentioned before. Now, while there are hundreds of types of knots, each knot is useful for different situations and activities. And by knowing these five essential knots, it's actually a good start for campers and anyone heading out onto the wilderness. So get a head start on your knowledge of tying knots and you'll be prepared for any multitude of situations. Thank you.